So another design we're evaluating is for a ski pole. Do you use a collapsible ski pole at all?
No, I don't.
Do you see any advantage to one? If you did.
In what way, if you don't mind me asking? In what type of situation do you want to collapsible ski pole?
Backcountry. Is there any situation in which you'd want to pack your pole up?
Would you want to pack your pole up? Most definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Why would you want to do that?
To tell you the truth, I don't really understand it because I use my poles in backcountry in order to get to traverse.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
One of the greatest assets of being a skier is actually having a ski pole, and that's why people, snowboarders, have split boards now and actually carry around collapsible ski poles. So it would be most advantageous to snowboarders that are trying to do backcountry rather than a skier.
Okay, so collapsible poles, you'd say that their benefits for skiers are mostly just that you can adjust them.
I tell you that there's probably no advantageous part of having a collapsible ski pole to a skier. I'd say it'd be to a snowboarder.
Okay.
As a skier, I'm from 1.5 to 24. Your ski pole is one of your. It becomes an extra extremity,
okay.
and helps your balance and directs that next turn, and even when you're in the backcountry, just trying to get from point A to point B, which may be 300 yards through untracked powder. Ski poles sure fucking come in handy compared to being in your backpack.
Perfect. Okay. So, what about falling on ski poles? Have you had any problem with that?
In ski racing, yeah, most definitely. Mostly between the legs, which is the scariest part. As a male.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And I guess a collapsible ski pole in that case would be very advantageous, for lack of a better word, because I've used it.
Why would you say that?
Times. If you were able to develop a ski pole that was as comparable to a carbon fiber ski pole that is being used in the World Cup right now, that gives you as much push and as much stabilization into your next pole plant, and is actually collapsible in the time of very unfortunate circumstance when you straddle a gate or you actually are falling.
Okay.
And hell yeah, I'm all for it.
What about for freeride skiing? Like, if you fall in powder, can poles complicate a fall?
Yeah, they could. Most definitely. But it depends on how that pole collapses.
Or doesn't collapse. Let's just say the pole doesn't collapse.
If the pole doesn't collapse, then you learned that just because the collapsible pole doesn't exist, or is still in beta stage or whatever. I've never skied with one.
Sure.
I just know how to put my poles in the proper place in order to not get hurt anymore. But I could definitely see times where someone doesn't have control of where they're going, where they're falling, at the speed they're falling, and a collapsible pole would be a very beneficial thing, almost like a beacon or an emblem.
Okay. But you say feel is very important.
Most definitely.
And let's say one of the poles simply broke. What would you do then?
I'd be really mad, I guess.
But you can make it down the mountain?
Yeah, any experienced skier should be able to make it down the mountain with one pole, no poles, one ski.
One ski?
Oh, you see Bodie Miller do it.
Sure, but which one do you think is easier, skiing with one ski or skiing with one pole?
Skiing with one pole, for sure.
Okay.
But they're there for they're your two guardian angels when you're skiing in the backcountry. They're the ones that are directing your next turn. They're the ones that are keeping you forward, and actually by keeping you forward, keeping you safe. So that's the main thing, is actually knowing that those poles aren't going to collapse on you, that they are going to be your guardian angels.
Okay.
And they're going to collapse in the time when you want them to collapse.
So, how disadvantageous is it to have only one pole? Like,
Well, it throws off
compared to
your
the-
entire balance. If
Uh-huh.
you're used to skiing with poles your entire life, then you're still going to reach for that pole plant, and there's not going to be anything there. So it's going to throw, depending on what pole is missing, it's going to throw your weight to the other side. And it just throws off the equilibrium and makes you that much more susceptible to falling.
Okay. Sweet. Thanks a lot. That's really all I needed. Cool.